I think, yeah, it's live. Can you see it? Is it live? Okay. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us live. I do see we have so far 2 viewers are coming in. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the premiere of the Lady Boss Show. I am so excited that everyone has decided to join me and my guest tonight. I greatly appreciate everyone for being here. Tonight, I will be talking to a boss babe, to an influential woman who believes in the power of accountability and showing up consistently for your community. So hello, everyone. Again, this is the Becoming Her series from the Lady Boss Show. And I do see, let me make sure I slow up a little bit. Hi, Grace. I see my mom is watching, and there goes Grace. Hi, ladies. Thank you for coming in. I see your comments. Oh, it's good. Perfect. Thank you. And then also, ladies, or everyone who's going to plan on joining in, please feel free to comment below. If you have like any questions later on for the guests or for me, anything, feel free to comment and let us know what state or city that you possibly is watching from as well. You can comment. Hi, Grace. Now, if there's a little delay, I do apologize, but let us know. Even the ones who are watching the replay, if you're watching a replay, you can still comment. You can put replay love, hashtag replay, whatever you want to say, but let us know what city or state that you're watching us. And then also feel free to share. If you don't mind, you can share this broadcast out as well. And so other ladies can join in and get to see the show. It's a premiere of the show. So I thank everyone for being here so far. Let me make sure I stay on task because I don't want to get off. But y'all know I was a little nervous, a little bit. I don't know why. I was like a little nervous. This is not my first time hosting or open up a show, but I was just a little nervous. God knows. So the Becoming Her series, those of you who do not know what this is, the Becoming Her series is where I'm talking to chosen jewels. I had this idea to talk to women who are using their God-given gifts that's helping to transform society. So I thought it would be so neat, so cool to share the women that has inspired me, that I have been watching and listening to, that has helped me out so much. And let me make sure I introduce myself. I don't want to move too fast. I am Veronica Charnell. I am your host and the creator of the Lady Boss Show. So before I introduce my guest, I'm getting ready to bring her on so you guys can actually see and talk to her. This broadcast, and make sure I say that this broadcast is being sponsored by Dash Sophistication Boutique and Charnell Healthcare Services. So now, let me introduce. Let me make sure. I don't want to move too fast. I don't want to move too fast. I do see there's some comments coming in. I do see some comments. Okay, now Grace. Grace said that she is watching from Georgia. That's Atlanta, Georgia, correct? I believe, Grace. And that's my mom, y'all. She's watching from North Carolina. Grace says she is watching from Georgia. I'm trying to put the comment up there. There it go. That she's watching from Georgia. So we want to thank both of you for joining, for watching so far. And I'm sure other ladies are going to be coming in. Most of them probably going to be watching the replay. I bet you. But my guest that's starting it off, that's premiering, that's like oh my goodness, where can I begin? Where can I begin with this one? She's the one that caused like a whole shift. And I mean it in a good way. I mean it in a good way because I had this idea and I know her from the Perry Girls. She's one of the leaders of in the Perry Girls community. And so I can't believe it. We have been dealing with each other in the Perry Girls group for well over a year. It's been like well over a year. It's time just flew by. And I just stopped and realized how much I interact with these women that's in the Perry Girls community. And so I like it when I'm able to talk to you before you make someone like your official coach or you officially start working with them. You want somebody that's willing to help you. You know, that says a lot about them. When they're willing to help you before they officially become. So I consider her to be one of my coaches. I told y'all it's Coach Michelle, and then I said the other one that I spoke to. She's one of them. That when I asked her that question, I slid in her DM, and she just completely, y'all, just, I'm like, had me, I said it. She had me on a snow day just writing. All these ideas started coming. All this started coming. I was like, oh my God, that's what I needed. That's what I needed to hear. And that's why I want to bring her on. I want to show everyone, because someone may benefit from her. Someone may benefit from her services and what she can provide. And so my guess, her business is the resource and the opportunities that her business provides is for new and struggling small business owners. She provides clarity and strategies for their success. And as I said, she's a member of the Perry Girls community as well. And so the one I am referenced to, I'm getting ready to bring her on, is Michelle D. Garrett. So I'm going to be asking her some questions. And let me see. I hope y'all can see her. How it is on your end, because this is like the premiere. Hold on. Let me go ahead and put, okay. So I'm hoping you can see. Can y'all see Michelle? There we go. There we go. Are we showing up good on your end, Michelle?
I think it's a little delayed, so I'm waiting for it to catch up on my cell phone. I'm trying to do both.
Okay.
But it says on my end that they can see and hear me. There we go.
Okay, yeah, I can. That is Michelle D. Garrett, y'all. She's the one, she is like amazing. And so I'm going to be starting her with some questions. But first, Michelle, feel free, because I know you love to talk and I know it's a lot in you. Because I was looking at one of her, she just came back from a conference, and I commented, I said, why you sound like you preaching?
I missed that.
I said, she sound like she preaching. She sound like she getting everybody straight and right up in it. I said, I wouldn't mind going to that type of conference, because that's empowering.
Next year. So we do it the third weekend of January every year. Come on, start planning now.
It really, but that's the one that was in California, right? Mm-hmm. And see, you don't need to go to, I think it's on her business page as well. I'm not sure, but I'm friends with her on Facebook. So I was able to watch it, but I caught it late. And so I was like, I really like, and she went live and showed each speaker and what they had to say. And so I want you guys to check that out. You know, if she shares it to a business page, you really need to look at it to get a taste of this particular group and what they were talking about. But first, Michelle, of course, we want to be relaxed and comfortable. I want you to tell us a little bit about yourself.
Oh, gosh. You kind of covered it. I'm a wife and mom and entrepreneur. Mm-hmm. I have been doing this for about, almost 4 years full time. But really, I started this journey about 10 years ago. And it was something that was placed in me, and over the years it's just kind of grown and shifted and changed, and all kinds of things have come out of it. And I think this is a year where I really have some serious clarity on the journey that I truly am supposed to be taking. 2018 was kind of a fallback year for me, and some people like that was a fallback year. But I was a little bit quiet in 2018 and just needed to kind of do some things behind the scenes in my business. And I'm so excited about what 2019 and beyond has in store for myself, for the women that I'm connected with through my business, and just ladies that I've connected with in general through my travels as a blogger, as an entrepreneur, and just in life in general. So I'm excited. But I work with business owners and I help them find clarity. Anyone that's watching any of my scopes or any of my live stream knows I believe in profitability as a business owner. So often we don't like to talk about money, but it's okay to talk about money, because that's why we're in business.
Right.
That's why we're in business. Like, if
And
you're
I
not making money,
and you
you have a hobby.
yes, I was just getting ready to say that. And that's what turned me on to Michelle. When she goes live on Periscope and Facebook. The Perry Girls, we're all about live streaming. And so the Perry Girls kind of helped prepare me to do this, to be honest with you. Because before I didn't do this. Michelle can tell you, I did not do this. This was not me. But when Michelle said on Periscope, if your business, if you're not making money, it's a hobby.
Mhm.
And you know how sometimes people say things and it's like boom, like a wake up call. And
Mhm.
so that will kind of help you to kind of get your business in line with everything. And I do see, I want to make sure I see some more ladies coming in. I see this, Erica, thank you for joining us. Ladies, if you are, those who just come in, please state the city or state that you're watching us from. And feel free to comment if you have any questions for Michelle. I'm sure she does not mind to answer any questions. Or Michelle, I'm sure you don't mind if they hit you up in a DM because she
Love
can
it.
really help you. I'm telling you, she can really help you. Everyone from the Perry Girls pretty much we know how Michelle is, and she knows how I am. So make sure you guys, if you don't mind, also to share this out as well, this broadcast out, so we can have more. And I do see Elisa Robinson. That's my girl from Periscope. She's all the way from Charlotte,
She's right
not
up
too
the
far
street.
from you. She's not too far. That's the beauty mixtress, y'all. Y'all need to go. You need to go
Ooh,
see her.
I
She
need to
may be
connect
on
with
the
her.
show. You do know her.
No, I said I need to connect with her because I'm in Charlotte
Yes, you
quite a
do.
bit. So yes, we're right up the street from each other.
And Erica, thank you for commenting. She's in Savannah, Georgia right now, but she's watching. She's from Atlanta, so Georgia and North Carolina right now. And Michelle is from South Carolina, y'all. She's from Columbia, South Carolina. I see Rick like in the house. The southern states are in the house right now. So thank God, thank you, ladies, for coming in. This is the premiere of the Lady Boss Show, and I greatly appreciate it. So we're going to move on to the next question. I had to think about it, Michelle. I was like, now I got so much to say. I have so much to say, and oh, wait a minute. And I think Brittany just came in. I just saw. Thank you, Brittany, for coming in. I just saw her face just popped up. She just liked it. Okay, the next question, Miss Coach Michelle. I told you I'm not gonna be hard on you. There are times where on Periscope and sometimes on Facebook, you get personal with us, with your community. You don't mind sharing and you don't mind opening up to us. Within the Perry Girls, we learned that helps your community to learn more about you. As a person beside the business sector, that part. We know life is a journey within itself. And so looking over your life, what was the turning point? That shift that when you started walking into this divapreneur that caused you to change.
I would definitely have to say the birth of my daughter. It really was. I was I had owned my own businesses before, and I did different things before she was born. She was born 7 years ago. She just turned 7 in October. And when I had her, I realized that the work that I was doing was more than just, before it was a business. It was something that I was doing. It was income that was coming into the house. But I was a mom of boys. I had my two oldest are boys. But when I had her, I really realized that I was creating something that could be a legacy that I could pass down to her if she chose to have it. Because she was my only girl. She was my little diva, and she was the one that I had prayed for. Like you said, I've gotten very personal with my community. They have seen me through so many different trials and tribulations just with my journey to motherhood. And having her was truly an answer to a prayer because I had had a miscarriage before I had her. So she's my rainbow baby. And I did some serious petitioning. Me and the Lord had some serious conversations. And because my husband said, look, you can try one more time, but if it's not a girl, you can't get no more. So I was like, look, I need this girl. But when I had her, I really realized that, the work that I was doing, it was something when you sow into other people's children and their daughters, right. It was one thing, because a lot of the work that I do, I'm very passionate about things that impact women and children, especially little girls, because I believe that, our little girls need mentors. There's so many programs for our boys, and I get it, but our girls need something. They need something special.
Right.
They need women that are, serious about pouring into them and that tell them from an early age that they are loved, that they are beautiful from the inside out, and that they are just building them up. And so I was doing that for other people's kids. And then I realized, oh, wait, now I have my own little diva that I'm responsible for, that I need to make sure that I'm pouring into her from the beginning. And so that, I think, was the biggest shift and changing point for me when it came to the work that I was doing.
That, and you know what? Those of you who don't know, Michelle's daughter name is Veronica too. So sometimes when she's go live and we're like on the same broadcast, or past the cast is what the Perry girls have. And sometimes she says Veronica and her daughter says, huh? So we both have the same name. I think that is so cute. And y'all need to go to her Instagram, Michelle's Instagram. She has her daughter up there. And I'm telling y'all, she really is a diva. She really, the way she poses, she loves the camera, just like I do. But it's just a thing.
It's a Veronica thing. It truly is.
And so when I know you're a full-time entrepreneur, I know you used to work in a traditional workplace, and it was like either 8 to 5 or 9 to 5. When did you decide to like come out, like take that big step? Because it's hard for some of us to take that big step to come out from that full-time entrepreneur. I mean, a full-time, working in the traditional to entrepreneur. Because there may be some ladies who are inspired entrepreneurs that wants to know, how can I do this transition? Some may be inspired, or some may be already in the business, and they want to just basically transition, to being a full-time entrepreneur.
For me, it took me a while to make the transition. I want to say, I honestly made up my mind when I was in the, get my words together. I actually made up my mind that I knew I was going to leave my job when I was returning from maternity leave from having Veronica. I looked through my journals and I can see where, I really, I'd spent 3 months at home with her and my youngest son during the holidays. And as I was preparing to go back to work, I just didn't have that passion anymore. I loved the work that I did at the time, but it got to the point to where I wasn't happy doing it. And I had been in the process of building up my own business, and that's what excited me. And so I used my full-time job as the seed money that I needed for my business. And so I spent that time. I would take, I would use my vacation, whatever vacation wasn't used for sick kids, I would use that vacation to go to conferences, to make connections, and to really just learn the craft of what I was doing, so that when I was ready to make that transition, I would be able to make that transition. And so for me to feel comfortable with leaving my job, I set a goal to where I needed to bring in at least 70% of my take-home salary for, I think I said 3 months in a row. And so when I did that, I was like, okay, I'm ready, because I knew I was consistently bringing in income on a regular basis from the work that I was doing, so that when I transitioned to being a full-time entrepreneur, I was already used to making money. And if I was able to do that with only 2 to 3 hours of time available to work my business, if I had all this other time, I'd be able to maintain it and actually make it do even more. And so I will say, though, I stayed at my job longer than I should have. And sometimes when we don't move, when God tells us that we should move, he will make things uncomfortable so that we have to move. And he made it real uncomfortable. He made it real uncomfortable.
So I want to, hi, Elder Carmen, and hi, Stevie. They just came in, Michelle. They're part of the Perry Girls community as well. And so, and y'all, my cousin Diet is here. And so, Michelle, you said that it sounded like you had a plan, and it sounded like you maximized your moment.
I did.
Because it seemed like you maximized like your PTO time, sick time, all that. And then I like what you just said. You said he made it uncomfortable for you. I think I can say sometimes I feel like I'm at a crossroads. And that's why I wanted to ask that and say that to you, because it may be somebody else who feel like they're at a crossroads and hey, I know I can do, more. It got to be something more out there. And so Michelle just said he made you uncomfortable. So when he made you uncomfortable, is that when you use you suggest using that PTO time?
Well, no, I was already using my PTO, I was using my PTO, my sick leave, all of that to go to conferences and do the work that I needed to do. But it got to the point to where the work that I was doing did not bring me that same level of joy. The working environment was not happy. It was not peaceful. I used to go there and I would walk in the building and I was happy. I was working around some amazing people. And I will say, because I'm still friends with quite a few of the people that I worked with and we're still connected on social media, that, I hold no ill will towards my former coworkers. We had a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful working relationship. I learned so much from them. My boss at the time, she gave me her blessings when I made the transition to being a full-time entrepreneur. And, I had some great conversations with her and just other coworkers, but the environment just was not conducive to my growth, because that's not where I needed to be anymore. I had been growing this business and I had gotten it to the point to where, I was able to sustain it. And I had asked for this thing. And this is the thing, is like when we ask for something and we do the work for it and God gives it to us, once he gives it to us, he expects us to continue working on it. It's like, this is what you wanted. And
you're right.
There was a little bit of fear that came in with the thought of like, oh, wait, like I'm gonna have to do this all the time. And so, he made me very uncomfortable to the point that I was not happy. I shared that, there were some shifts and changes within the work environment where I did not like going to work anymore. The place that, at one point in time that I enjoyed going to, I still love the people, but the building itself and I'll be honest, I thought about it the other day, because I live very close to where I used to work. I don't think I've been in that building since I left. I don't think I have, because it's just not, it wasn't the same anymore. And when I walked out that building on that Friday in July, there was just such a peace that came over me. Such a peace that came over me, because I knew that I was walking into the next phase of my journey. And I finally released what I had been instructed to release so long ago, but I was being stubborn. Because there's an area of fear. There's a little bit of fear and apprehension that comes with moving something that's constant. Like I knew if I showed up every day, if I did the work that I needed to do, that there was going to be an automatic deposit in my bank account every 2 weeks. When you are doing something for yourself, it's not the same. It's like everything falls on your shoulders. And so that can be very daunting for some people. I never tell anybody to leave their full-time job. That's one thing that I am very clear about. I'm not one of those entrepreneurs that were like, oh, the grass is so green over here on this side. If you are not called to be an entrepreneur, this is not the journey for you. Because it's not all daisies and sunshine and roses and flowers and we singing and dancing in the hills. There's some really there's some hard days. There's some frustrating days. There's going to be some days where you're looking at the classified ads like, let me see what I can go do. Let me see. Like, I'm just going to close up shop and I'm just done. But there are also some days that outnumber those days that are very rewarding. When you see something that is a product of the work that you have done, when you see the success of the people that you worked with or the products that you created, that you're like, I did that. And as a mompreneur, someone that works from home and that my children see what I'm doing, there's just something that's so rewarding, fulfilling when I see that my children are seeing me do this as well, because they know that there are different options that they have to be able to create the path that they need to create for their lives.
Right. That's good. And Michelle, it sounds like when you work with your clients, you just tell them the truth.
Yeah.
You just lay everything out and say, look, this is how it is, because it's going to be some good days, some good seasons, and sometimes you may have a dry spell.
Yeah.
and you still got to keep hitting it, especially as an entrepreneur, especially when you're trying to build a brand. Exactly. I mean, just like that's just how it is. I mean, am I on the money or not?
You are. Like I'm very open with my clients, and a lot of times, especially if I'm working with someone that has not transitioned to being a full-time entrepreneur, so they're contemplating it. I ask them, what is their plan? Like, how are you going to sustain your household? How much money are you currently bringing in? And I typically will challenge them to work their business in the same way I did. Like I said, set a goal. How much is it that you absolutely positively need to make on a monthly basis to make sure that everything, all the needs of your household is met? And then I challenge them to make that amount within their business for 3 to 6 months consecutively, and not to spend that money, to save that up so that they can have some type of savings. Because quite a bit of the women that I work with are single mothers. And so, or they're just single in general. But, you know, if your household depends on your income, then you need to make sure that you have some type of nest egg if you're able to do it. Now, sometimes there's things that happen to where you just have to make that leap and you don't have the time to do all of that. So you kind of have to shift and change your plan. But if you are able to plan, if you are able to create a savings, and you're able to really set routines and systems in place to help you consecutively make income consistently, I highly suggest that you do that, so that you have a little bit of a cushion when you do make that transition, because you never know what happens. You never know what will happen. So that you have that security. You definitely need that security.
And that's good what you just said. So anyone who's interested in working with Michelle, now she used the word challenge. Now I know she's nice, she's bubbly, she got energy, yeah, but she will challenge you. I'm going to tell you, Michelle will challenge you, because she challenged the Heart Tribes, she challenged the Paragirls crew, she challenged all of us. Even though, you know, those when she goes little groups within the Paragirls community. But she was still, that challenge is for all of us, okay? We could all of us go in and we watch those videos. And so let me tell you, so if you want to work with her, Michelle, could you tell us the name of your company? I'm not sure if you mentioned that.
It's Garrett Enterprises. You can find all my information at michelledgarrett.com. And so this year I'm doing things, and Lady Veronica, you've been a part of that transition that I've been taking over the last few months. But a lot of what I'm doing for entrepreneurs now falls under what I call my Biz Boost community. So we have a closed group community where I provide business, like social media prompts, but I also have another community where we're going to be providing just support overall for female entrepreneurs. So whether you're doing this full-time, part-time, thinking about it, you're like, I have an idea or whatever, I just really want to have a community where we're able to support one another and hold each other accountable for the different goals and things that we are setting. And so I thrive on masterminds. Love her. One of my old coworkers, actually, she was one of my supervisors as well. But I told you we kept a great relationship. I just saw the message from Abby that just popped up.
Yes. And I highlight that because I like what she said. She said it's a pleasure that she was working with you. So I want to make sure, and thank you for coming in, Abby, for joining us live. I appreciate it. If you could state, if you so desire, I know there's some coming in as we're going live. You can always, if you have any questions for Michelle, you can leave it in the comments. I'm sure she'll respond, she'll answer as well. I'll respond either or. Because that's something that we do. Just because you leave comments and we don't get to it, when this is over, we'll still answer your comments. So if you have any questions, feel free to put that in the comments area as well. And you said that's your coworker, Abby, that just came.
Abby and I used to work together. We did. She worked at my last job together.
Oh, it's so sweet. I'm glad that she came. Yes, thank you. I love it. I love stuff like this. Yeah. Okay, it's a blessing. I just love it. It is. And so now, Michelle, I think you mentioned it on your Instagram, or was it Periscope? You talk about being a super mom. that you mentioned. You remember you mentioned something about being a super mom, and I said, now I was kind of no. It was on Facebook at the conference. You said I'm not. I think you said you're not a super mom. You said there was a time that I was a single mom. Now
Mm-hmm.
Michelle's married.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, she's a married woman. Now I'm a single mom, but you didn't let that stop you.
No.
Now there's a lot of young ladies who are single moms who's holding the house down, and they're inspired to have their own business. They're inspired to be write blogs. Michelle is also a blogger. Okay, she's real big on blogging. Blogging is her baby. For those of you who don't know, that's her thing. And then that's something I like to do too. I just love to hear all that I can hear about blogging. It's amazing. But how did you, when you were thinking about it's time for me to become an entrepreneur, how do you know what to go into as far as discovering that gift? You know what I'm saying? As far as, because you had to find your niche. Because
Yeah.
everything.
It's been a journey. I mean, I've done a lot of different things. I have done a lot of different things over the years. But I think that and there's nothing wrong with trying out different things. So like if you find, because I'm a multi-passionate person, there's so many different things that I find joy in doing. And there's nothing wrong with trying it out. Incorporating it within your business, because as you do those things, it will help you to really see what you really, really like to do and what you really, really don't like to do. And there's some things that I still love to do, but I don't want to do it for money. It's not something that I want, to be forced to do on somebody else's timetable. And I'll be honest, as an entrepreneur at this stage in the game, there's very few things that I do that I really don't want to do. But I had to get to this point. This is not something that just happened overnight. But I think I shared in an interview that I did I think around Christmas time, that you have to do what you feel you're called to do. Sometimes we feel like we'll do things that aren't within our realm of talent, and we're just like, well, I need to make this money. And that's not going to work, because that's just the same thing as being on a deadbeat job where, you're just going there to push the button, you're just going there to swipe the time clock to say that I'm here. Are you really being of service to the people that you're working with if it's something that you're truly not talented with or something that you're not passionate about? And so I suggest, if you're like, I don't really know what I want to do right now, look and see what are the things that bring you joy. And if it's something that brings you joy and you're able to legally make money from it, then I would legally make money. Yes, I have those disclaimers out there. But, find different ways that you're able to tap into it. Talk to other people, talk to a business coach and see if they may have some ideas and ways and things that you're able to do. I started out, I've done blogging. I've got my t-shirt business as well. I've done one-on-one coaching. I've done MLM businesses as well. And so, at that point in time, each of those things brought me joy, and I was able to find success within them. And when that season was over, that season was over. But consistently helping women build their businesses and find confidence within themselves to really set goals and be strategic with their time and action, that's something that I've always done. No matter what it is that I've been doing in any business that I've been in, that's something that I've done. Even when I was working outside the home, that was something that brought me joy with my employees as well. That's something that I would talk to them about. So, I've told people that work with me, you don't like being here. Why are you here? Go find something else. You're not happy. Right. And I'm okay with that. Like I will quickly tell someone, if you're not happy, go find something else to do. Because it shows in your workmanship, it shows in your demeanor, and it impacts the other people that you're around as well. So I think to answer your question the long way is really just kind of look at what brings you joy and how you can monetize it and still be happy about that.
Now that's good. I like, and you know what, Michelle, I'm like that too, because if there's no need if you're not happy, if you don't want to do something or be around someone, it's not going to work out. You gotta have teamwork. You gotta collaborate, and see, as she's a coach. So as a business coach, she has to inspire, empower you, but she also got to keep it real. and just lay it down like on basically on the law. Because I think you kind of answered my next question too. I was going to ask you for like what advice will you give anyone who's have a business right now and they're struggling and they need assistance. Is there a certain type of businesses that you focus on, that's your expertise? Because I know you do a lot in social media.
I do. A lot of what I do typically will kind of come back to social media, like different ways that they can implement social media within their business strategy. I have worked. I've worked with and that's one of the things that I absolutely love about what I do is that I can do the exact same thing, but it's not the same thing because I'm working with different people that have different ideas and that have different types of work that they're doing. So I typically work with female entrepreneurs, and I have worked with a few men, but most of the people that we have the right fit with are female entrepreneurs. And it's just someone that has a passion for what it is that they're working with. Like if you're just doing something because it's like, this is the hustle that I have today and I need to figure out how to make the most money from it, then you're not the person for me. You're not the person for me. But if you are like, this is something that I feel like I'm called to do, and I just can't figure out like how to make it click so that I can be happy, my clients can be happy, or my customers can be happy, then I find joy and I get excited about like listening to what you have going on. And then my brain starts churning to find different ways that we can really kind of find something that will help you to be successful in what it is that you're doing. If you find yourself you're like, I want to do something and I'm not sure, or I'm just struggling with what it is, definitely feel free to talk to someone, or, it could be just a friend, a fellow friend that's an entrepreneur that gets it and understands those struggles. You might need to journal and write it out, but really find out, you have to pinpoint what it is that you're struggling with and why. So
Right.
Are you struggling with bringing in consistent income? Are you struggling with, setting your prices and being confident with your prices? Or are you struggling with just managing the day-to-day routines that you have? Because that may not be a strength or something that you were ever taught. So once you identify what that actual issue is that is causing you to struggle, then you'll be able to formulate a plan to help you move forward and be successful and just rock it out.
See, it's a lot, y'all. It's a lot. It's a lot when you're in business. It's something you have to really take time to think about. Like some of you may know a SWOT analysis. Sometimes you got to break down and analyze yourself.
Yeah.
You got to analyze yourself and your business as far as because that's what I had to do. And see, I'm so glad that you're my first guest, so this is what Michelle did to me, and she just her comments. It's a blessing. Now I'm not picking on you, nothing like that. It's a blessing when someone tell you something that just wakes up the gifts and the ability inside of you. That is the purpose of a coach. And so somebody can benefit from Michelle. You know what I'm saying? So you guys really need to look into. My next thing is mastermind groups. Michelle just mentioned it. She has a group. Now, Michelle, don't you have a group? You have a community that you want to tell us a little bit more about that? So just in case someone maybe want to join the group.
Yeah, the BizBoost community. So the purpose of the BizBoost is really it started from me sharing social media prompts. So I used to create, or I still create a calendar. I create a calendar of daily prompts for you to write or talk about on social media. And so it was something that I was already doing for my clients, and I just decided to put it out there on social media because other people might benefit from it. And it took off, and I had people that were reaching out to me and were asking for more. And so I created the BizBoost community to share not only that daily prompt, but to also share additional prompts and ideas for people to show up on social media. And so each day you receive 3 to 5 different prompts. And I do a weekly Q&A where I get on and I talk about, the themes that may be coming for the upcoming week. It's an opportunity to do Q&A. So it's like a little mini coaching session if you choose to use it that way. And then I will do a training session each month as well. And so our training session is actually going to be next week. So I got one more week in January. So our January training will actually be next week. And I get a lot of joy out of the business community. I've been traveling for the last 2 weeks, so a lot of things in there have been automated. So that's one of the great things about social media is that you are able to kind of use automation when you need to. And then I have some team members that are able to jump in there and connect and kind of hold the fort down while I am traveling. But I've missed them. I have really, really missed them. So I go back to work officially on Tuesday, and I'll be able to jump in there and really, chat with them and catch up and see how they've been showing up. I see them on social media. Like I can see when the posts come through because I follow everybody that's in the group. But it's great to see how they connect, and it's been great to see how many of the ladies that have been in there from the beginning, how they have grown on social media. Not just and not just with their numbers per se. Their numbers have been growing as well, but just how much more comfortable they have been when it comes to showing up. We've had some ladies that have gone live for the very first time. I think you were a part of the 100 Days Visibility Challenge that we did, where one of the ladies went live for the first time. And that topic that she chose, number one, she didn't want to go live. She was like, I'm not going live. And I was like, yes, you are. I gently said that. But that series that she started from going live ended up in her doing a TEDx talk. All because she chose to show up and be visible and talk about just her and be a little bit vulnerable for her community. It's little things like that make me happy, because sometimes we just need that little spark, that inspiration to give us that little, and I know I give not so gentle nudges sometimes, but I always tell people, like, if I give you a not so gentle nudge, it's because I see that potential in you. It's because you have said that you wanted it, or I've been watching you and I've been connected to your social media, and I see that you have the capability to do more, and that you may just lack a little bit of confidence, or maybe, you're like, I'm not quite sure how to do it, like just the technical aspect of it. And so, I will give that little push and say, you can do this. And how can we support you? Because I'm huge in support. I want to support and show up. And if I could be all over the place, I would be, but I can't, but I try to be as much as possible. So I'll tell people, if you're scared to go live, let me know when you're going live. Inbox me right before you go live, and I'll show up. I won't share it out if you don't want me to share it out, because some people like, Michelle, I don't want other people showing up too. But if you just need somebody to be there for you, to just give you that support and that comfort when you are stepping out, I want to do that, because someone did that for me. I was absolutely positively terrified about Periscope.
Me too.
I don't know why. Believe it. Yes. Yes. I was on Periscope probably about 6 months before I went live. And I'll never forget it. Tamika Sims, hey Tamika, if you're watching this, in her closed group community, she asked the question, who's never gone live on Periscope? And I don't know why I answered. She caught me on the wrong day. But she created the opportunity for the women in her group to go live. And we did it in a very, cozy way. She provided us with some inspiration, very similar to what the Perry Girls do now with their Pass the Cast. But I wasn't connected with Perry Girls then. But because of live streaming, I was able, I gained that confidence, and I was able to do more. I connected with the Perry Girls. I connected with you. It's like it all connects the dots when it comes to just making that first step. And so that's why I'm passionate about just supporting and helping others, because people have done it for me, and I just feel as though it's my duty to pass it on and pay it forward, and just be there and let another diva know that she can do it, that someone believes in her, and she just needs to believe in herself.
Right. And that is why I wanted to start this particular this live stream show, because women needs to be empowered. I mean, there may be some guys, gentlemen, won't leave you out. They may be peeping, watching the replay. They may not want to come in live. Be like, kind of wave at them a little bit. They may want to come in and see. You'd be surprised how men are inspired by us, but they may not want to come out and say it. And so this is a place where I want to introduce the ladies that I have met. Those of you who don't have Periscope, you need to download the app. and you will find some like-minded individuals who are good. Oh, because I found that's how I discovered a Paragirl. That's how I found out about Michelle. And a lot of these ladies up here that just came in, just like, thank you for coming in, Simone. She's, and I can't, ladies, I see some new people come in. I'm sorry. If you just coming in, I was asking everyone before if you can share what city or state you're watching from, so we can kind of shout you out. Thank you, Simone, for coming in. Thank you for your comment too. And then I want to highlight, Michelle, a comment real quick of what Stephen want to pull that back up. But if you don't have Periscope, download Periscope, because that's how I met a lot of these ladies, and then it rolled over to Facebook, and see a lot of them is in the house right now. They're representing. These are the women, because a lot of them, they haven't, they probably going to end up being on the show too. I got to get with them, because it's so many that I have connected with that are just, they're influential women in my eyes, because each woman is doing her thing. And that is the key. You got to do your thing. And like, what is my little statement the Lord gave me? Using your God-given gift. You got to give, use it. Don't sit on it. But Stevie says she's watching from Roanoke, Virginia. Virginia is in the house. The southern states is in the house. Simone, she watching from Atlanta. I tell you, Georgia, South Carolina, Virginia. We're in the house, boy. These southern states. We got to get up to New York City. Wait a minute.
I saw her. She's here, or she was in here. Yep. So we got New York representing.
Okay, New York City, my hometown. I think, I don't know if she's from Brooklyn or Queens, but New York City is here. The comment was in here. So that's good. And I do see Janice. Is that Janice Parker? Thank y'all. That's my little shout out with y'all. She's watching from Connecticut. So we have reached up north. All smooth. So y'all share this out to your community so everyone can get to know, meet Michelle. She can help you in your business or someone that you know. But Stevie said, visibility plus credit equals cash.
I love Stevie. Stevie, no, me and Stevie, look. Yes, she understands how I feel when it comes to profitability. Yes.
She's from Greensboro, North Carolina. And see, that match, I want to highlight that, Michelle, because that matches what you said. Because you said earlier, if you're not making money, it's a hobby. If what you're doing it's a hobby.
And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. But if you want it to be a business, make sure that you are being profitable and putting the different practices and routines you need to have in place so that you can be profitable with the business that you're building.
Right. That is so awesome. And look at this. I like this comment here. Janice, thank you for watching, Janice. She said, she put up a scripture and talk about your gifts will make room for you. Yeah. But and then like that goes, thank you, Janice. Oh my God. That goes hand in hand with what I was getting ready to say. Michelle also talked to us about accountability. She has it on her Instagram. If you go to her Instagram, you check it out. That's why I call her accountability coach. I nicknamed her Coach Michelle, because I said I might as well just grab her and the other one, Ebony, and just go and just run with them, because both of them are helping me like crazy. And see, I don't bother them too much, like being their DMs like that, because they're busy. They have like families and other things going on. But this is my way of sharing the ladies that I surround myself with, that I'm connected with, to my community, to my audience, so they can hopefully help you as well. Now, Janice said, will make room, your gift will make room for you. You just finished talking about Michelle showing up and how important it is to show up for your community, and then accountability. So those mastermind groups help us to be accountable so we can keep showing up. If we don't show up, then our gift's not going to ever be discovered. Do you agree? It's not going to ever be known.
They will not. And that's not why you were given your gifts. You were not given your gifts to hide them, to put them under a pillow or in a closet somewhere. You were given your gifts so that they could be a blessing to you and to other people as well. So you have to use them. It's your duty.
And that's awesome right there. Oh, and you know what? Elder Carmen is still here. I just saw. I thought she left out. Thank you for staying, Elder Carmen. Thank you everyone for coming in. Oh, I'm so excited. This is the premiere of the Lady Ball Show. This is just a taste of my vision, something that the Lord was showing me. Everyone that came in did their comments. They were saying that they liked the setup. Thank you. The Lord was showing me pink. I don't know why I saw pink, because Michelle, you know, my boutique is black, gold, and white. But when I saw pink, I said, that's it. I'm running with it. It's something about pink. And so I want you guys, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not gentlemen, but there may be some people on the low. If you have any questions at this time, viewers, for Michelle, leave it in the comments, and we'll see. We have just a few minutes to kind of get to it. If you want to connect with Michelle online, this is her Instagram. That's her Instagram handle. If you want to connect with her, she's also on Facebook. As you know, with the same name, you say? Okay.
Yeah, if you do facebook.com/Michelle D. Garrett, they'll be able to get to my business page as well.
Okay, and this is her website. If you're interested in seeing that, because Michelle, now you also do speaking engagements. You're like a public speaker as well. So she's not just a coach, you know, as far as the business. If you want her to come and speak at your events, she does that too. She does a lot. So if anyone have any comments, any comments or any questions, ladies, you feel free to post it. Thank you, Stevie. I just noticed your comment. It says, thank you for the congratulations on premiere. Lisa, oh my God, way down in shot. That's my girl right there. She said pink. Pink is fabulous. Purple is Michelle's color. She loves purple. And yes, I did get one of her t-shirts. Y'all need to check that out. I'm sure that's on her website. And let's see. I want to highlight some comments real quick before we go. Thank you, Grace, for saying that this was really good. I hope this was informative. And, you know, by me introducing Michelle to all of you. And Elva Carmen, thank you for your comment. She said, this is an awesome start. And I have to highlight this real quick. This is my mom. She said, Michelle, she said she enjoyed listening to you. She enjoyed everything Michelle, she actually been watching you when we do the Pastor Cast. Aww. Guess who be watching from behind the scenes? It's her. She be looking at our Pastor Cast.
I love it. Thank you.
And Simone, thank you for your comment. Okay, she said, fantastic, keep shining. Thank you. She had a homework break. Thank you for coming in.
Homework, Simone. You're not going to use us as an excuse.
Now, Simone recently, she too just went, she's full-time in the ministry now. So she transitioned, left her job, and she's full-time in the ministry. Y'all maybe possibly, if she has time, you may be seeing her too. On the Lady Boss Show as well. And Kimberly Nikki Hardy, I want to highlight you. Thank you for coming in. Is that one of your co-workers, Michelle?
She's actually here, a part of my local mastermind group here in Columbia. So she's one of my divas here in Columbia, South Carolina.
Oh, I'm glad you came in. Thank you. And then thank you, Lisa, for your comment. She said, this was an awesome broadcast interview. Thank you so much. I'm glad you ladies enjoyed it. You know, if you haven't shared it, please share it. I'm going to be hopefully doing this like every week on this page. And then after a while, I'll probably transition to the other page, but I want to do it on this page to start it off as well. But thank you, Michelle, for being my first guest. This will be what we talk about in the Perry Girls group, repurpose. Michelle has done videos on repurposing. I'm telling you, you need to follow her, not just on Facebook. You need to follow Michelle on Periscope. She does a lot of live streaming on Periscope. This is what we do. This is what we do. This is why I do a lot of the social media. And it's so awesome to have women and people that are like-minded, that's into social media and live streaming. Because sometimes you like some of my friends, they're like, to. You have to be into it. You have to do this, especially if you have a business. Yes. Because this is what's in. This is what's in. And before we go, I'm sorry, I want to highlight Simone. She said, what you can do on social media. I get it.
Simone, right. Yes, we know what you can do.
Hint, hint. So ladies, everybody probably see more of her, more Simone in the coming days in the future. But let me tell you, everyone, the next guest. My next guest next week is going to be Dr. Tammy Francis. That's another one of the Perry Girls. So that's another one. That's the podcast queen. It's me and her. We'll be doing a little podcasting. I just published episode 5 of my part of cultivating the Lux lifestyle. And this is part of it. All of this goes hand in hand. And so thank you everyone that has come in. Thank you, Michelle. And I hope to see you. I'll see you anyway. I connect with you anyway. Every week, Fairy Girls thing. We do it anyway. But I hope to see you ladies again next week because I'm going to be chatting with Dr. Tammy Francis. All right. Thank you for joining. Thank you, Michelle.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye.
Bye, y'all.